Hi, I'm Mark from Aufxpro Trading. Thanks for joining me. Look, this is just a short video on mainly what new traders do to stifle the returns and the trades that they take. Basically, it stems from not having a strategy or a solid strategy that you work by, and you're using the same rules trade after trade after trade. So when you get proficient at trading, or the professional end of trading, it's more about spreadsheets, risk calculations, increasing risk, decreasing risk. The focus no longer is on, oh, am I going to get stopped out? Oh, should I hold this trade? Oh, will I throw another contract in it? You have to be past all that. So on the spreadsheet that I'm going to bring up here in a minute is a set of trading results. They're not actual trades, they're what I've filled the spreadsheet up, but they do represent trades, how they fall, and actually what does go on. So, and they are very relevant. The target sizes are the trades that we're taking day by day, week by week. It is something that you do have to take on board, because if you don't, it quickly shows how you can make less money or end up in a situation after trading for 3 months where you've taken all these trades, you thought you're doing the right thing, but you end up making far less than what you would have done. So let's just come through and have a look at the spreadsheet and go from there. Okay, so this is the spreadsheet, risk spreadsheet that I use. And as I said, the point I want to make is cutting trades short, widening a stop loss out. When you do it once, and it's meaningless. And this is the problem that most new traders get caught up in, and it costs them a lot of money, and they don't actually realize what it is costing them. When you look at it at the end of the year, it adds up to a significant amount of money that you've left on the table by just doing a few small things. So the things, of course, what causes you to do this is not having a sound strategy, not having a knowledge of what you're doing. You're trying to learn as you go, and at the time you think you're doing the right thing, but it all boils down to the fact that you haven't got a set of rules and guidelines that you stick to. The trades that you're doing are supposed to be done by the rules and guidelines that you have written out. If you've got a strategy that you're using and it's, well, I think I'm going to jump in here, or I think I'm going to jump in there, yes, I'm going to take that, I might take this, you never ever even get a chance to be able to work with a spreadsheet. So when you get past the new trading, or you finally get to a position where you can start to streamline things, which is what the professional end of town do. Hedge funds manage funds. The majority of their work is spent in scenarios like this on risk spreadsheets, right? They don't spend their time worrying over trades or, oh, what do we do with this? What do we do with that? It is exactly like what I do. I put the trade on, there's the stop loss, there's the profit target. If it does this, then I change that. If it does that, then I change that. Apart from that, I leave it the hell alone and don't mess with it. So let's just come through and see what messing with trades actually does as a detriment. So in this scenario, supposing we're using a $25,000 trading account, right? The risk is at 3%. We're going to keep that as a constant all the way through. So that's our stop loss and our profit targets, right? Our stop loss is supposed to be what it is that we've calculated our risk on to get our contracts that we're going to trade. We come through and we do all that, done, by the exact rules, and it comes out to 43,871. Very, very few traders can actually trade the market physically and come out with what the actual rules say that you should come out with. And this is what happens, and this is where most people also lose out. We come across to the same trades. Okay, instead of getting in at the correct time, we've missed it by a few points, so now our stop loss is 32 points, and we've been a little bit edgy. We've cut in, taken our profit short. On that trade we've made $703 compared to $990. This one here, we missed our entry by 10 points. We still jumped in, and then we got scared and we cut it short by 30 points. Oh, we've banked 120 points. Oh, the heart's racing, so forth and so on. You think you've done well, but in actual fact you've left 30 points on the table. You made a whole $1,000 out of that trade. You pat yourself on the back. In all honesty, you should have made $1,500 out of that trade. So that $500 that you've left on the table, there's basically the stop loss for the next trade. And so the circus goes on. And this is what people do. And this is what helps to make you lose money. 36, we've did the right thing. We've got in at the correct stop loss level. Once again, we've cut it short. We've robbed ourselves of 27 points. We don't think that's much. That's neither here nor there. We've made a whole $2,000. We're ecstatic. We should have made 2,600. So, for those of you on wages, you go to work and at the end of the week, you put your timesheet in, you've done all these hours, it adds up to 46 hours, something like that, or whatever, and the total amount you should get paid is 2,600 for the week. Do you say to your boss, "Oh, she's right, only put in 30 hours, if I get a couple of grand out of it, I'm happy"? There is no way you would do that. Yet when it comes to trading, we're so keen to get that money in the bank, and we leave that on the table. So just in those two scenarios, there's $1,000 that you've left on the table. Now, those trades are trades that you take all the time. That is what goes on. Then you get to this scenario, 46 points. The stop should be 46, but in your wisdom you've decided, I'll give it a bit more room. It runs out to 55 points. So now you've lost $900 instead of $750. And so I've done the scenario all the way through. This one here should have been 31 points. You've increased it out to 40. Give it 10 points. There's $1,000 it's cost compared to that. Then you might come to, and this is one that I see where the extension rules have been used, 41. It ends up basically a 6-to-1 trade. You've got in it, you've been stopped out of that one. I'll just take a quick 100 points out of this. That's all right. I've made $1,800. That covers that. But what you should have made out of it was $4,390. Right? Once that trade's gone and finished, you don't get that money back. So this is a lesson more so for you guys that are just starting out. Mathematics, calculating risk, following rules, and sitting on your hands are paramount. Right? So the figures that I've altered this by, they are exactly what you're going to do, what you come across. It's a few points here, it's a few points there. So at the end of the day, and this probably represents maybe 3 months trading or something like that, we started off at 25, we're up to 43. We should be nearly 100% up. But in our actual trading account, we've made up to 36. We've robbed ourselves of $7,000. Right? It didn't take any extra work to make that $7,000. It just meant that we needed to follow the rules, had discipline in what we're doing. So, and this is the next thing with trading. You see all the scammers and the mass educators, oh, trading's fun, it's a walk in the park, we go down the coffee shop and we throw our trades on, rah, 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 so forth and so on. When you do that, that's the result you get. When you trade as a business, take it seriously, which you have to if you want to make money out of it. There's the result. I mean, it's up to you guys. If you want to play around and have a bit of fun and think that making that out of that, well, that's pretty cool. It probably is. But you're getting closer and closer back to that 0 point of where you're going to start losing money. And that's what happens. I would much rather be in this area here doing that. It hasn't taken any extra to do that. It just meant that I've kept my head and kept my calm and played by the rules. Okay guys, hope you take that on board. It's worth its weight in gold. And again, that's the spreadsheets that I calculate out, so I can change any one of those on risks. 4% risk there, 4%. Maybe I want to set it on 2.5%. And when I do that, it calculates out the contracts immediately for me. So when I place a trade, this is what I do in every trade. The risk is the first thing, 2.5, 3, 3.5, whatever you want. As soon as you put that in, you know how many contracts you should be trading. And then once you've done that, you can put your target in at a later point down the track and then go from there. I suggest that also when you're trading, leave room on the side. I've just squeezed that up just to put the repeat in there. I always like to leave a situation like this where you've got a nice area down here and right. Trade done exactly by the rules. Late entry, got in 10 points later. It's all these ones here where you haven't worked by the rules that add up to work against you when you get further down the track. Also, this scenario here, while you might be sitting there saying it's not that big of an impact, I'm going to suggest something else. I'm going to tell you that if you're doing that, when you get to there, you're going to be doing other things like this. Like in there somewhere, you're going to be taking another trade there and it's going to be stopped out. And again, you're going to take another one and it's going to be stopped out. What you're going to have is extra trades in there that you shouldn't have taken. And those extra trades are going to be the ones that stopped you out. Or these ones in here that should have been a profit, you know what you've done? You've closed them out at 0 because somewhere and made nothing out of it. It's come back to your entry and panic set in and you haven't made anything out of it. It does not take long to bring that figure back to that figure. I can assure you of that. So that's an overview of the biggest mistakes that I see probably novice traders making. Look, it is so hard to fall into that rut of cutting targets short, increasing stops, likes of that there, or being late to get into an entry. And of course, after you've had a couple of losing trades, what you're trying to do is make the trade prove it's going to be a winning trade before you get in. Well, that's not going to work. That was the first biggest mistake I ever made when I started to trade. I started off and made very, very good money in a short down market on the futures. Then when it turned around, started to go up, I got hammered because on the futures it's a slower, more erratic movement, and I continually kept getting stopped out, and I couldn't deal with it. So the next thing also from that is what new traders tend to do. They get lazy. They don't want to calculate the risk on every trade. Let's just say we're going to do maybe 8 contracts on every trade that we take. Well, that's soon going to reduce your income. To get that to be 8 contracts, that would have to be about, what's 1% on that? 6, so 1.5, right? All of a sudden, just reducing that to that without bringing all these others down, you're down to 33,000 as well. So that's the next thing that I see as a common error in what guys do in their trading. Alright guys, look, I hope this info helps. Take care, due diligence. At all costs, try and have a set of rules that you stick to, and then go from there. So in wrapping up from that, it just does highlight how you have to take care, how you need to manage your trades. If you venture down the path of throwing trades on, not worrying about targets, I'll get a quick 50 points out of this, a quick 100 points out of that, I'm going to extend my stop, maybe 10 points, 5 points, whatever, throw a couple more trades in there that are not by the rules, I'm doing okay. This is what brings traders undone, right? Trading has to be done as a business, as I explained on the spreadsheet. It's not a fun pastime where you can get together with a heap of mates and laugh and joke and have a beer and throw some trades on. It is a serious business. That's if you want to make money out of it. And you know, the majority of people I see that complain, oh, you can't make money in FX, they don't really take it seriously. They don't get to a stage where they're using a strategy that has rules and they follow the rules trade after trade after trade. You know, I've spoken on other videos about 60% success rates and how they work out for you. If you are a serious trader, well, yes, you can make money on those situations, but most times you're going to end up, as on the spreadsheet that we'll just have a look at, what you should have and what you actually had is 2 very different outcomes. Alright guys, take care, safe trading. If I can help you in any way, find my details on the website. Bye for now.